The world is truly an amazing place. With nearly 70% of the planet's land being covered by water, it is safe to say that water is our most precious resource. We use it every day when we feel thirsty, take a shower, water our plants, and many other activities. With all the talks of global warming, we forget that greenhouse gases are not the only potential harmful elements to our planet. The amount of pollution given off by both the average citizen and service industries is at an all-time high. Service industries in particular create most of the pollution we see today besides the burning of petroleum for use in automobiles. Much of this pollution comes in the form of solid waste. The map currently being displayed shows countries around the world that produce the most waste as bigger in size. As you can see, America is one of the largest. What happens to this waste after a company is done with it? Some of it is burned, some of it is recycled, but much of it is dumped into landfills or into one of the most precious commodities, the ocean. When this trash is depleted into the ocean, it often gets caught in what is known as gyre.
There are 5 gyres in the world: North and South Atlantic, North and South Pacific, and the Indian Ocean. Atmosphere actually builds up in like a mountain, and that heavier weight of atmosphere pushes down on the ocean surface and actually creates a depression near the center, so that you have a kind of a toilet bowl effect where you have swirling water bringing debris into this central area, which has a bit of downwelling. And we're headed out to the North Pacific Central Gyre, the Eastern Garbage Patch as it's called. We've reached the area of highest concentration on the entire voyage. This is indeed the Eastern Garbage Patch. Everywhere I look, there's a plastic fragment floating by. A bottle, a buoy, a large plastic chip. Here goes another one by. This is truly fragment. I can sit here and count them. 20 yards off port bow, we have a large red fishing float. We don't shop anymore, you know. All we do is wait for things to float by. This is the new designer light switch cover from the Gyre.
Some of the trash in the ocean is accidental, but much of it isn't. With room filling up rapidly in landfills, there is little to no room elsewhere to eliminate this garbage, and unfortunately, it makes its way to the ocean. Also, trash that is disposed of irresponsibly can end up in sewer drains, which can eventually lead into the ocean. Simple things such as a cup or an empty bag of chips is enough to kill an animal in the ocean. This brings up the question, why would anybody want to do this? Why throw our trash in the ocean where so many animals live? Is it because we think that the ocean can hold all of our trash? Is it because it's the out of sight, out of mind mentality? Or does it simply come back to the morality of our decisions of what to do with our trash? Author Derek Jensen puts the morality of today's society in perspective by saying that we as a group of people don't take things personally when it's on a global scale. This is because we are able to point the fingers at others, but really look back at ourselves as being a part of the cause for most of our problems.
All of us use plastics. They're a ubiquitous part of our modern lifestyle. This use once and toss wasting is not the way to handle plastics, especially when they end up on our streets, in our gutters, down our storm drains, into our rivers, and out into the ocean.
Next to my home in Florida is an empty creek. This creek, which is currently pictured, is often filled by the storm drains from all around the surrounding areas near my house after a storm. As you can see, many foreign items such as beer bottles, plastic cups, and other trash accumulate in this area because they are washed down the storm drains and into the creek. Further down the creek is an actual water basin where the water travels directly into the Gulf of Mexico. Consequently, all the trash that goes through the storm drains and down the creek flood the water basin and flow into the Gulf of Mexico. Most of this trash will end up on shore or will eventually travel into the North Atlantic Gyre. Many of the items that are polluting our oceans today are plastic. Plastic for the most part is non-biodegradable in the sense that in some form it will always be around. Much of this plastic, such as plastic soda rings, can be entangled around the necks of animals such as sea lions and choke them to death. Plastic bags can also be mistaken for jellyfish, a popular food for sea turtles. These turtles in turn choke on the plastic and die because we are too selfish to find a suitable place for our own waste. Going back to the sense of morality, who do we blame for this turtle's death? Do we blame the industries who produce this waste? Do we blame ourselves, the consumers, for using this waste and not properly disposing of it? Or do we all take the blame equally for our not disposing of our waste properly? Solid matter is not the only waste that appears in our oceans. Many factories have liquid waste which runs off from their factories, which leaks into nearby creeks, which can run off into the ocean. In 1989, one of the greatest disasters in the oceans occurred. An Exxon Valdez oil tanker crashed, causing an oil spill of nearly 11 million gallons of gasoline, which covered nearly 1,300 square miles of ocean. Many animals in the area were affected by this oil. Many local citizens of the area worked with rescue crews to clean up the loose oil and save the ocean, but with the mass amounts released and the rapid spreading, much of the surrounding environment was critically affected and, in the most part, killed. It was not until 2009 that Exxon finally released an apology to the people of Alaska that were affected by the spill. The best estimates include 250,000 seabirds, at least 2,000 sea otters, approximately 12 river otters, 3 harbor seals, 247 bald eagles, and 22 orcas, as well as the destruction of billions of salmon and herring eggs. Author Leslie King explains that in the past years, CEOs of 200 of the largest corporations in the U.S. have intensified their lobbying efforts among the government officials in Washington. Many of these government officials depend on these CEOs for their campaigns and often side with these companies to keep these irresponsible acts of dumping continuing.
The ocean is the source of life and our ability to live on this planet, the most precious resource we have. Like the dolphins and sea lions that play in the ocean, so many of us derive comfort and solace from the sea. Each of us experiences its magic in our own way. Which is why polluting the ocean, the use of this magnificent gift to dilute human waste, is an insult. For a long time, we've been treating the ocean like a sewer, dumping in it whatever we don't want. Somebody created a slogan: the solution to pollution is dilution. As if the size of the ocean would allow it to absorb all our trash and chemicals and sewage.